This is how I personally would go from zero to $1 million net worth in under 5 years if I were starting all over again right now. Number one, you're going to pick a high value skill because Elon Musk said that you are paid in proportion to the magnitude of the problems you solve. So if you want to make more money, you got to go out there and solve bigger problems. Now, the biggest problems people have, they usually revolve around one of four things: either how to make money, how to have better health, better relationships, or have more status in the world. Helping somebody improve one of those four things is a surefire way to make more money. Now, personally, my preference is to help people make money. More specifically, help businesses make money. The reason for that is because if you help them make more money, then you know they have more money they can pay you. It becomes like a virtuous cycle, right? So in the beginning, develop a skill that'll make other people more money, and you're going to be on the fast track to making money yourself. Some of my favorite money-making skills are things like copywriting, accounting, digital marketing, graphic design, coding, and video editing. I'm going to give you an example of how to take one of these skills and actually apply it in real time. But first, let's go to the second thing here that you got to do, which is you got to get good enough at that skill. Now, most people think you have to master a skill in order to make a ton of money, but that's really not true. In fact, mastery in a lot of cases, it's a waste of energy and pretty unnecessary. So there's marginal benefit in being great versus just being good enough, given how much more effort it requires to become great. So instead of just trying to become the best at something, instead focus on becoming good enough and then combine that skill with other synergistic skills. And that's how you really skyrocket. So 5 ways to get good enough at a skill is read books, watch YouTube videos, take online courses, and then maybe the most important is like practice every single day. Practice that skill a ton. Last but not least, you get around other experts. Go network with people who are doing the thing and go learn from them if you can. Great free place to do that is Twitter, right? Go find the people who are already doing the thing, go learn from them. All right, the third step in this process is to deliver free value using your good enough skills. So in this step, we're building network, experience, and social proof. The goal is not to make money yet. First, we have to build something way more valuable, which is goodwill and reputation. Because here's the thing, you've probably heard it said before that it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. This is wrong. The correct way to think about this is it's not about what you know, it's not about who you know, it's about who knows you. And right now, nobody knows you, what you do, or how you can help them, which means they couldn't give you money even if they wanted to. Sure, you could build a website, you could start driving cold traffic, but there's a problem with this, and that is you have no proof you're actually any good at the skill you've been developing. And this is problematic for 2 reasons. 1, without proof, nobody will believe you can actually help them, right? Number 2, without proof, do you even believe you can help them? I mean, if you're a sane person with a little bit of self-awareness, you'll likely doubt yourself because you've never done the thing, right? So you hear people all the time talking about faking it until you make it, but here's the problem with that is that you're not fooling the most important person, yourself. Without true conviction in what you're doing and your ability to help people, you will always struggle to convince those people that you can help them. So it starts by building conviction and confidence in yourself, which we do by actually doing the thing. Knowledge is knowing the right answer. Skill is having the ability to apply it. Up to this point, you've acquired theoretical knowledge, but now we have to transmute that into real-world ability. And this is done in the crucible of real life where theory smashes headlong into practice. So here's how to deliver free value to people through the lens of, let's say, copywriting. You know, we can adapt this to any high-value skill. I'll do it at the very end of this video as well. But here's the process. Number 1, find an ideal client, subscribe to their email list, study their onboarding email automation, look for opportunities to improve it, and then send those improvements via DM or email to the client, and then suggest other ways that you might be able to help them. But here's the secret is that you don't go and you ask them for money. You don't ask them to do business with you. Your only goal here is to add value without expectation of return. Then here's the most important part. You're going to repeat this 100 times every single day. Yeah, seriously, 100 times. Here's what this actually looks like in real life. You're going to find 100 ideal clients. And you're going to reach out to them every single month. By the end of the year, you're going to have reached out to 1,200 people and gotten practice improving 1,200 different email automations, which is a ton of reps. And chances are you're starting to actually get pretty good at this thing, right? By the way, this means you're going to reach out to 3 clients every single day for a year, which might sound like a lot because it is. But the question is, do you want an extraordinary life or an easy life? So yeah, let's continue. Now, here's where the rubber really meets the road. Most people will completely ignore you. Truth is, your work probably isn't that good yet. So they might look at what you send them and think, yeah, this guy can't help me. But that's okay. Don't get discouraged. A small percentage of people will reach back out, though they might not engage you for work quite yet. If they do, awesome. If not, that's also okay. Put these responders onto a separate list and follow up with them every single month, just continually adding more value. Stay present in their lives on a long enough time frame without actually asking for something, and you'll start to build goodwill and begin cultivating one of the most powerful influence concepts, reciprocity, which you can learn more about by checking out the book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. Now, again, this is going to be a lot of work because in the beginning, all you have is brute force to get the flywheel going. So commit 3 to 4 hours every single day to this strategy for at least a year. And then it's time to start moving to step 4. Convert free to paid. Now, if you did the previous 3 steps, chances are good you've got some people who you've been doing some work for. It's time to add some fuel to the fire. We're going to do that by establishing authority and overcoming obscurity. To establish authority, you need to craft a compelling offer, create a landing page, and start collecting testimonials. Now, I'm not going to go into the detail of how to do all that right here, but go check out the other videos on the Amplified Impact podcast channel on YouTube to learn all the ins and outs of how to do that. But here's the number 1 rule for overcoming obscurity that has served me well over the past decade. Ask for the referral, not the sale. To do this, you just go back to those 1,200 people you delivered value to in the past year and let them know about your compelling offer, and then ask them, hey, do you know anybody who might be a good fit for my services? And if so, would you do me a favor and make a connection? If you've actually done a good job of delivering value to these people without expectation, then I would bet you could easily get 25 paying customers from this one ask alone. Now, if you're charging, let's say, $2,000 a month for your copywriting services, you multiply that by 25, that's $50,000 a month, which is $600,000 a year. Not too shabby. You're probably able to do this within the first 3 years. Just plan to dedicate year 1 to learning, year 2 to delivering free value, and year 3 to monetizing. Now, let's move to step 5, which is over-deliver value. If you live and breathe by this simple concept, you will have more business than you could ever need. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. If you consistently over-deliver value, then you will always have a full pipeline and the ability to raise your prices. Listen, from this previous copywriting example I just gave you, you can make the jump to $1.2 million in 2 ways. You could double your clients or you could double your prices. Which do you think is easier? That's right. Yeah, it's actually just raising your prices, but only if you're actually delivering value in excess of what you're charging. So that means during this phase, you need to bust your ass doing whatever it takes to over deliver value so that your customers, they don't even blink an eye when you go to raise your prices in the next year. And that, my friend, is literally the $1 million blueprint. Now, let's take another example. That was copywriting. Let's take the example of maybe you want to be a YouTube strategist, right? You find all these different business channels because everybody knows YouTube is one of the best places for organic search, for getting visibility, for going deeper on relationships with their customers. You know the power of it because you've probably come across my content through YouTube. So there are countless business gurus out there and entrepreneurs, different service businesses that have terrible YouTube videos. Go find 100 of those channels and then every week send them a custom thumbnail for them to use on their most recent release, and then take that video and re-edit it for them, but do it in a more high quality way. Keep doing that every single week. And initially they might ignore you because they're like, I don't need this. But as you keep showing up each week and you just keep giving them free stuff, there comes a moment where they're going to go, okay, this guy is actually really good. He's not going away. Maybe I could use this. You get your foot in the door and you do whatever it takes to keep moving through the crack. Now, the other day I had a guy, he offered to do a bunch of free thumbnails and free editing for me. The problem was it wasn't very good. And he couldn't understand why I didn't want his free thing. And I was like, dude, your free stuff isn't very good. So you have to balance this with self-awareness. In the beginning, you're not going to be very good. So if people aren't reaching out to you, if they're not connecting, if they're not reaching back to your offer, it might just be that your offer isn't very good. So don't just say this doesn't work, nobody's interested in this service. Just say, I'm not good enough yet. And use that as the impetus to go and level up. Because remember, you don't have to be great at the skill, but you do have to be good enough. And there might be a bigger gap between where you are currently and where good enough resides. But if you do that consistently for the next 3 to 5 years, I guarantee you will be in a better financial position than you are right now. So that's going to do it for me, guys. We'll see you in the next video.